Hello, my people. Welcome back to the CS News channel. Thank you, as per usual, for all being here. It's going to be a crazy day because we got some crazy news out there. Also crazy, we are slowly approaching 82,000 subscribers here on this channel, which means we are 82% of the way to our ultimate goal of covering just some lovely Counter-Strike news. So if you guys can do me a favor, firstly, leave a comment down below. What are you sipping on? How are you doing this morning? And maybe leave a sub. But let's get into some of that news and some reoccurring news over the last few years, and this being brought back up as of recently because we do have Dev1ce apparently with some more illness struggles. Now, he has actually later clarified this was just food poisoning, but of course for Bucharest that means a big deal because he missed a match due to medical emergency, which again was just food poisoning. He should be okay. And that means that Rugga, of course, Coach Rugga, as we see every now and again in CS, good old coach has to sub in, and he had to do so against Aurora. What might blow your mind is Astralis almost still pulled it off.
He's got a Molotov as well.
He still thinks it's B.
Oh, it's a disaster. He does pick up a smoke, but he's now realized it's the A bomb site. HooXi doesn't have a kit. It's all gone wrong here for HooXi. Astralis give the series a good go. They take the first map of Nuke. They concede Train. And Jorda looks to ensure that they're about to concede Mirage. The last-ditch effort. HooXi on a 10-second stick to try and keep Astralis in it. He's holding it. Oh my god, Jorda's just let it go. HooXi's actually won the round. How have you let that one go? HooXi with a 10-second stick inside of the smoke. It is the only way.
With Dev1ce later clarifying, saying, I'm having a food poisoning and drove to the studio with the team, but I haven't stopped vomiting yet. Vamos Rugga, and thanks to the medical professionals here at PGL providing the tools to recover quickly. And that was a bit of a back and forth matchup going down to a pretty close map 3, which has now arisen some criticisms of not just Aurora, but also maybe the calling over there. There's been a lot of criticism of Aurora and Major throughout this year, and those have now continued and kind of re-sparked given this instance. There was also a re-sparking, though, of some concern from Astralis fans, because if you guys somehow don't know, the past 3, 4, 5 years, and especially during Astralis's prime, shortly thereafter and sometime within, it was quite often where Dev1ce had these health issues and these stomach issues, which he has described and gone into detail a few times. And so people at first thought, oh no, is this one of those issues? When you're constantly traveling, you're constantly going to CS events, the body can wear down, especially if you have, predisposed issues and maybe, issues you've already experienced reoccurringly in the past. Apparently that will not be this time around, just a bit of food poisoning. Astralis, also one of those teams who has been bouncing back and forth, HooXi was getting a lot of praise when Astralis was actually winning or doing a bit better, and now when you're missing a member, having to fill in and kind of been on a stagnant run, as many teams have been throughout this season, he's now been the target of more criticism. So it's some crazy things going on over there at Astralis as Bucharest does continue. And speaking of Astralis, maybe a former member of theirs that did not quite work out, and someone who hasn't worked out at a place in quite some time, but I could not be more excited to see if he does with a new team. Thanks to Dev1ce, it will be Cadian rumors. He's reportedly going to be joining OG, who most recently announced Nikodos as well as Crizin will be benched. And, ironically, Op plus IGL, who can better fill that role than an opping IGL himself, and Cadian is reported to actually join this roster. Now, how this roster will fill out and finalize, we don't quite know yet, but it's really cool to see. OG could now be headed by Cadian, and I'm always going to be excited about this. You guys know every time I talk about Cadian, whether it be Astralis, whether it be Liquid, whether it be so-and-so, I've always been a fan of his and his leadership style and his vocalizing of leadership as well. And I thought that some of these past projects could have worked out really well, and I kept on being wrong. So hopefully this time it can be right. And this is an OG lineup who, I think back to like the last, not this past Thunder Pick World Championship, but the one before that, they were contending for some other tournaments out there. Not your tier 1 S tier LAN events, but this is still a decent core of an OG lineup, and an OG that has also gone through some financial troubles as an organization. So kind of surprising they can land someone like Cadian, but if he can lead them in the right direction, they can round out this roster well. There will always be potential of a roster behind someone like Cadian. Will this be his comeback? And one last note, I don't know if this fits the pages over there. Crimbo. All right, big German Crimbo, now off of Big. still available at the point of me recording. That'd be cool to see a little combination over there. So OG also changing things out. And those big changes do continue for a team like MongolZ, which we have talked about now for a week straight. The Senzu situation, what is going on? We'll probably never get the full answers. Him saying sorry multiple times in his response. MongolZ saying, hey, unfortunately came to this decision today, and Senzu has now been benched from MongolZ. Of course, Senzu also deleting social media, then coming back to social media to say, hey, that past fraud with NKT has nothing to do with my current team in MongolZ. And then, of course, the speculation has been ever present of like, okay, is he struggling to be away from family and friends? Is he just struggling to, be a teenager or a very young man who is traveling a lot for Counter-Strike events? It doesn't matter anymore, or at least for the near future, as MongolZ have now announced his replacement, not just for the upcoming events, but most importantly for the major, will officially be counterstrike. So a lot of people let down, a lot of people making jokes in the comments, not the community. You guys can make jokes all you want, but teams out there that are struggling as of late, making jokes towards the MongolZ. I get it, it's social media management, but that seems bold to me. But we will see how counterstrike does in this lineup. I mean, can you imagine a more heavy pressure situation to sit in on? You are now filling in for at last second before some huge events, including the biggest event of the entire year. Not only the best Mongolian roster of all time, the best Asian lineup of all time. Those are probably the biggest shoes to fill on the market right now. So yeah, I feel bad for counterstrike. I hope he can keep up, and we will wait and see. And the reason why I was so excited today, there's so many good stories out there right now in CS, but this one, a top-notch one, because hot off the presses this morning, guys, something nobody saw coming. Yes, again, according to Dev1ce, there are now reports that 100 Thieves will be returning to Counter-Strike, and I just know there are plenty of 100 Thief haters out there. If you don't know their past, when I was first getting to CS, they had some roster troubles, might you say, picking up maybe a Brazilian core that was drinking and partying too much, then picking up some Aussies, and that roster didn't last too long. There has been a lot of tiffles in the CS community by 100 Thieves, but I am still excited to see a big brand want to come back into CS at this time. An esport that is very difficult to be in, especially for North American organizations, and from what we know, this will unfortunately not be a North American lineup, because some other big news out there is not just 100 Thieves set to return to CS for the first time in years, but it's going to be Rain to be rumored as their first player. And I'm like, that's a killer move by 100 Thieves. If you want to spark a return and get on everyone's good side, you sign one of the most tenured players and one of the most beloved players in the entire community. That is a smart move. Now, naturally, there will still be 100 Thieves haters, and I can't blame you guys, but they're going to come out of the woodworks, and we're going to see what is said around this team, especially as they finalize the current rumors out there right now, and reported by Overdrive and Dev1ce, as this will be filled out by a Gamer Legion core with maybe 1 or 2 spots left to fill as well. Apparently, it was part of the deal. Rain goes to 100 Thieves if they can build a solid roster around him, which apparently will also be a Gamer Legion core. People thinking Rez, PR, and Towson, I believe, are the rumored ones to be joining him. And so will Rain be IGLing and leading this roster? We don't know quite yet all of the roles and how they're going to fill out, but I'm excited by this. At the point of me recording, Gamer Legion is making a great run at Bucharest, and then I checked the leaderboards, and I think they just got 13-1 by Aurora. So they're tit for tat, but still they are making a great run, and this is a solid major attendee contending roster for Rain to be a part of. So I like this move. I really do. 100 Thieves return. I'm going to be a fan of it. I wish I had those stickers. I have Optic Gaming stickers. So if they ever want to come back, please let me know. But former FaZe Rain set to join 100 Thieves and be rounded out by a different core of players. Did you guys ever think there was a world where those were the words we would be saying? Former FaZe Rain to leave FaZe and join 100 Thieves. What year is it? But until next time, thank you all for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you. I know most of this week has been focused on the Stewie drama, and that will probably continue because that situation is far from over, but it's nice to be back and bouncing back with some actual CS news regarding rosters and changes and some great community moments. It's been a great day, so hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekends, guys. I'll catch you back here bright and early Monday morning with some more news. Till then, take care. We'll see you soon.